Okay. Tonight's Parks Department meeting. We'll call the Parks Department meeting to order on Thursday, September 3rd, 2020 at 6:31 p.m. In accordance with the governor's order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, General Laws 30A, paragraph 20, relating to the 2020 novel coronavirus outbreak emergency, the September 3rd, 2020 public meeting of the Lakeville Parks Commission shall be physically closed to the public to avoid group congregation. However, to view this meeting in process, please go to facebook.com/LakeCAM. You do not need a Facebook account to view the meeting. This meeting will be recorded and available to be viewed at a later date at www.lakecam.tv. I will now be confirming all the members here tonight. As a preliminary matter, this is Scott Holmes. I'm the chairman of the Lakeville Parks Commission. Permit me to confirm all members, staff, and persons on the agenda are present and can hear me. Commissioners, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Joe Kasha.
Yes.
Paula Hool.
Here.
Is Jesse here? Jesse Medford?
Here.
Mike Nolan appears not to be present. Also here we have our secretary, Nellie Woodburn.
Here.
Thank you very much. There are no anticipated speakers tonight, so we will move forward. Introduction to the remote meeting. Good evening. The open meeting of the Lakeville Parks Commission is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order, which you can find posted with agenda materials for this meeting, allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will not feature public comment. For this meeting, the Lakeville Parks Commission is convening by video conference via Zoom as posted on the town's website. For Zoom meetings, please note that the meeting is being recorded and that some attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you. Take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. Meeting materials. All supporting materials that have been provided members of this body are available on the town's website unless otherwise noted. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless I note otherwise. Meeting ground rules. We are now turning to the first item on the agenda. Before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, the chair will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Further, please remember to mute your phone or computer when you are not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage in conversation with other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by a roll call vote. Okay, moving on to the agenda. First on the agenda is any new business for the commission that is not already listed somewhere below. Jesse, do you have any new?
Nothing new.
Okay. Joe, do you have anything new?
No.
Paula, do you have anything new?
No, just updates.
Okay. Nellie, do you have anything for the board?
Nope.
Okay, great. Moving forward, reviewing and approved meeting minutes.
There are none for this meeting.
Right, Mike's not here, so.
Right.
Okay. All right. That's fine. moving forward. I like it. Moving forward. Loon Pond Lodge SEM updates, event review, and general updates. Paula, have you had a chance to meet with SEM yet?
I have spoken with Nikki, and we're going to meet next week.
Great. I guess we had our first
And-
event. We
Can
had
I
our
just
first
ask,
event this week.
Oh,
Go ahead, Paula.
I don't know. I wasn't I wasn't there. No,
I know.
I assumed. Yeah.
I'm giving an update on that. We had our
Thank
first
you.
meeting. We had our first event. What was it, Saturday or Sunday, Nellie?
It's Sunday.
Sunday. I haven't heard from anyone, so I don't know how it went. And
I
then
spoke with Nikki.
you did?
I did, and she said it went fine.
Okay. And then we had our second event. We had the voting on Tuesday. Does anyone know of anything that transpired, good or
Hi.
bad?
No, I was around the Loon Pond Lodge when they were voting, and actually it was a very scant amount of people going in, so I was surprised. But in the event that when I do meet with Nikki, if everyone there has anything that I should discuss with her that just in general, please let me know.
Okay.
Scott, for the event on, sorry about that.
Joe, go ahead.
Sorry. For the event on Sunday, how many people were there? What kind of event was it? Indoor, outdoor?
It was an outdoor
Okay.
shower.
It was about 40 people.
Which is within the parameters of 50 or less.
Do we allow people inside yet?
They also rented the CW room so that they had access to the bathroom.
But could the event have been inside? I mean, are we holding indoor events?
Well, it could have been indoors, but they had more than 25.
Oh, so is 25 the limit for indoors? Is that what it is?
Correct. And 50 is the limit outdoors for events. Paula, did you have something you wanted to add? Or is it Nellie?
No.
Nellie?
It was me. I had a note about the voting. They utilized during voting the high cocktail tables. We just need to figure out a way to let them know that those aren't ours.
Okay.
Those are actually the bartending services tables. So if they want to use them, the bartending service just needs to know.
Yep.
Where did they get them from, Nellie?
They were in
They
the back
are
room.
stored in the lodge because they'll use them for events.
Okay, so it was just stored in one of the rooms?
It's stored in that first room we walk into with the code.
Yeah, okay.
So it can be as simple as a procedure of, we give them a different spot to store those in so
Mhm.
that there's not a confusion on to what's ours and what's not ours.
Okay.
That was it. That was the only note.
Okay. Okay, moving forward, Ted Williams Camp updates. Mike's not here, but I can give a general overview. A gentleman came that Franklin has the town has a contract with for line striping. He came and did worked up a plan, which I thought was very good use of the parking lot. It's not for public viewing, so I'll just give you the details on it. There were 69 total spaces, okay? 5 with handicap stalls and 1 with a handicap van stall. So there were 63 car stalls. I think that's a great use of that parking lot. What it does is it has handicap parking in front of the karate studio Then it has 2 handicap spots over at the entrance to the bathroom. And then there's handicap access with parking in front of one of the entrances to the soccer field. There will be handicap signs put up in front of these spots. Franklin has them. When his guys get some free time, it's not a priority, but it is, he knows we need to get it up. So when they can, they will. But we still have to okay this plan. It has spots that go in front of the karate studio, and then the corner is blocked off up near the entrance to the fields. Then there's parking perpendicular to the fence in front of the soccer field. Then there's a double row and another double row, leaving what you'd call a roadway that goes into the to our maintenance building, to the double door bays. There'll be no parking in front of that, and no parking, so that there'll be a 15 to 20 foot access for our employees to get in and out of the building. I think he's done a great job. I was surprised to hear that there were that many spots. You know, especially when you add in 6 handicap spots, it takes up a little extra space. But I'm very pleased with it. The plan looks pretty good. If anybody wants to see it, I can show it to you. I just can't put it out to the public because he doesn't want, it's not a public item. He doesn't want someone else to take his work and bid on it. So I can understand that, but I will gladly show anybody what I have. The cost, anticipated cost, is $2,850. That was not part of the project, so that is on us to get that done. Personally, I think it's a good thing. We can get those spaces put in there properly. People will be parking properly. I've never seen close to 40 cars in that lot, so to get 63 spaces is going to be fantastic. Does anyone have any questions? Jesse?
No, I would have thought it would only fit around 40 cars, so I think that sounds great.
Yeah, that was my feeling also. Joe?
Is there any way to get the town to help us fund some of that?
We can try. We can ask.
Or the studio, the karate studio people?
Yep.
Just a thought.
Yep. No, you know, every thought's a good one. Paula?
I'm happy with what you've got.
Does somebody want to make a motion to move forward with this?
Yeah, I'll make a motion. We move forward with the bid. If we can solicit any input from anybody else for funding, it would be great. But also we move forward with the line painting project.
Okay. Do you have a second?
I second it. This is Paula.
Okay. Any further discussion? Joe?
Nope.
Jesse?
No.
Paula?
Nope, not on the lines.
Okay, then we'll entertain a vote. A yes vote would be to move forward with the line striping, and a no would be not to move forward with the line striping. Jesse, your vote, please.
Aye.
Thank you. Joe, your vote.
Yes. Yes.
Paula, your vote.
Yes.
And Scott votes yay. That's a unanimous vote. I'll get in touch with Mike or Franklin and get working on that, and then we'll see what we can do about funding. Great. Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
Fertilizer and herbicide review. They were in last week and fertilized the fields. The new fields down off of Bedford Street also were added some herbicide for the to take care of the clover that's popped up down there. We've got a bill or we got a quote on that. I can't remember what it was, but we had okayed it before, and I just wanted to let you know that it happened last week. So that's moving forward. Geocaching request.
Scott, before you move forward on that one,
Yep.
is there any, I know we talked last time possibly in looking at, maybe it's just more for next year, but John Pond, putting any fertilizer down there. I mean, it could use it, without a doubt. So I didn't know if we had
Yep.
anything left over or. That was an option,
Yeah, let me talk to Mike. He might have mentioned about something being left over. So if there is, we'll see what we can do and get something going on John Pond too. Absolutely.
Right, that's fine. Thanks.
Yep. I think that they were supposed to include that in the quote, but I don't know if they went down there and measured it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why
Somebody-
there's some extra.
Okay, we'll see. Thanks.
All right, so we'll check on that. Okay. Who's put this on the agenda, this geocaching request?
That was me. I received two voicemail messages from two different people asking for permission for setting up geocaching at Ted Williams Camp.
What is that?
So I actually just got into it with my kids. It's basically where people set up this small container, which is usually weatherproof for the rain and stuff. They put little items, little toys, and a scroll of small paper. And you get sort of coordinates of where they are, and then you have to find them. So it's fun for the kids. What they're supposed to do is trade an item for an item, something small, and then they sign their name and the date as to who was there last. So it's a little kind of hike in the woods, try to find the geocache spots and these little things, and then they walk away with a small prize and they leave a prize for somebody else. So I think it's gained popularity with everybody being home right now. And I know my kids had a fun time doing it. They've done it. And so now we've gotten 2 requests to get permission. I don't think anyone's ever done it at Ted Williams Camp before.
Yeah, I thought,
This is Jesse. Are they just looking for permission to leave a cache, or are they trying to have an event with a bunch of people to find a bunch of different caches?
Just to leave the cache.
Are you talking money?
No. No.
HE.
It's small items.
Okay. Is there a downside to this, Nellie?
Not that I know of. As long as their container is good, water shouldn't get into it. And it just, what a lot of people do is use an app for geocaching where you can try to locate the closest geocache to where you're hiking. So then you can, find it a little bit easier. So it just gives some more maybe foot traffic into the trails at Ted Williams Camp.
Yeah, it's a GPS treasure hunting game. It's very kid friendly, family friendly. It would I would think just need some kind of disclaimer. Don't put anything by the haunted house. Maybe a couple other spots that we want to make off limits, and then, it's a fun game, especially in trails.
yeah, I would agree with that. I think that if we go forward with this request, which I really don't see any problem with it, but I think we should tell people that the haunted house area is completely off limits, and that I think we should ask them not to put things around the lodge, because if somebody is having an event and all of a sudden there's people bebopping around, it just might put a damper on things. Not that it's a problem, but I just think if we keep people away from the lodge and away from the haunted house, definitely. But I mean, the rest of the camp, if it's one more thing people can do to get exercise and entertainment, and the cost is minimal, and it sounds like it is,
It's none.
I'm all for it. Is there anybody else that has anything they want to add? Joe?
No, it's a good idea.
Okay. Jesse, you want to add anything?
No, I'm good.
Paula?
Just wondering whether that would interfere with the volleyball courts at all. I mean, I don't want to ruin their play area if people are tramping across the volleyball or any of the other places that may be, disrupting their courts. Anything like
I think
that?
all the sports fields and courts would have to be kind of off limits because these things
Okay.
at random times during the day, and there might be, fields or courts reserved. So it would have to be places that are always open to the public during the hours of operation for the park.
I think usually they try to keep it to trails and wooded areas so they can hide their little container so it's not too visible to everybody going by. Some are supposed to be harder than others to find, so I think they're looking for spots where they can actually hide it. And I don't think the fields are going to give that to them. But I can definitely tell anybody who's asking for permission that the field areas are off limits due to reservations, as well as Loon Pond Lodge due to reservations.
And the haunted house area.
And the haunted house due to safety. No going there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
It's very true that they don't want anyone to stumble on these. Somebody who has no idea what it is, they do not want those people to find it because they'll take it or they just,
Right.
oh, what's this?
Right. So they're not going to put it out in an open area like out in the fields or.
Exactly. They put it in places where only someone who's looking for a specific GPS coordinate is going to find it.
Okay, would someone like to make a motion?
A motion that we allow them to have their geocaching caches in the open areas of the park.
And the trails
I
too?
second that motion. I
And the
second the motion.
trails.
Wow.
With the fields and the haunted house areas and the courts off limits.
Okay.
and the lodge.
Paula seconded.
And the lodge off.
I second
Okay.
that.
Any further discussion, Joe?
No,
Jesse?
No.
Paula?
Nope.
Okay, a yay vote will allow them to set up their caches as long as they're not near the lodge, the haunted house, or in any of the fields or courts. Joe, how do you vote?
yay.
Yes vote for Joe. Jesse, how do you vote?
Yay.
Yes vote for Jesse. Paula, how do you vote?
Yay.
Yes vote for Paula and a yes vote for Scott. Unanimous. Okay, we're going to move on to landscaping updates. I believe that's Paula.
Yes, I'll tell you quickly that I have been in touch with Nancy with the Lakeville Garden Club, and she has been in touch with Chris, who is the designer. Anyways, they talked about the fact that if the park department would contact the highway department or for the overgrown bushes in front of the office and one leaning tree to be removed in front of the office.
What leaning tree?
And there's a dead tree in front of the office. I don't know the name of the tree. I
There's only
know
one
it's
tree in
there.
front of the office. It's not dead.
Well, there were some branches that were dead. It looked dead. But anyways, that I'm not a tree person, but I can tell you that it didn't look too well. And it was leaning over, so she felt that should come out. And that's a recommendation. But we are working on it, and a lot will depend on if the highway department will remove the overgrown bushes and shrubs and around the office. And there were 3 trees that are growing big in front of Loon Pond that shouldn't be there apparently to come out. But anyways, I can throw it out and just for consideration, and then when they get the total design together, we can present it, and hopefully, we can see that in person, because I don't know how you do it on Zoom.
It'd be difficult.
Mm.
We'd have to have all the
But-
documents beforehand, and then Nellie would have to post them. And
Mhm.
yeah,
You mentioned 3 trees in front of the lodge that should come out. Are they
Yeah.
potentially damaging anything, or are they dying?
They're growing too close to the building and they're getting bigger. And they definitely will ruin the, shall we say, curbside appeal, not to mention that in years to come, it'll be overgrown. And it's just better to remove them while they're not overgrown, which they almost are. And also, if we could save them, I would like to put them on the side where there's some cement, I don't know what to call them, not boundaries, but cement slabs that are protecting something on the side there. I don't know if it's a fire hydrant or a generator or electrical box or something. So if we could
Where?
save them, I would. When you look at Loon Pond Lodge, on your left,
yeah,
at the end where the grass ends, there's some cement blocks there.
yeah. There's a
I won't call
propane tank there, and a
Right.
fire hydrant.
Great. If we can save those trees and we can plant them there, we can help cover those up without, interfering with any of those structures. But just as a matter of beautifying the trim. But again, this will be discussed if we can get the plan together and get them to the commissioners and look at everything and get your input. But we're
Yeah, there's a
trying
couple
to,
of cedars
yeah.
and some overgrown yews that are in front of the building. There's also a nice flowering bush tree there. We might want to look at that, maybe trying to save that one.
Yeah, they know exactly which ones are, need to be touched and which ones don't. And of course, the other thing is people that have volunteered. She's recommending that we don't take any plants from volunteers only because they may be, what is the word that you used? Invasive. And what happens is they bring in these plants and next thing you know, you've got something growing all over the place when in fact they're trying to keep the area they're landscaping so it remains without being overgrown and without having invasive plants. But again, all this can be explained once we get a plan together, but that's the update.
Okay. I know Mike has already talked to Franklin. And I think at the last meeting, we also noted that, unfortunately, that's not a priority, pulling out some bushes. But he did say that they would be able to get to it later on in the fall.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm just,
That would,
there are other things that are more pressing for the highway department to do. But then he would put it on the list, and when they get time, they'd move forward with that. So we just need to identify exactly which ones, and we can tag them so that when they do have the time, they can yank them.
Okay.
Okay. But yes,
Sounds like a plan.
as the plan comes together here, you can keep informing us.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you, Paula.
And I just wanted to mention too, while we're on Ted Williams Camp, that somebody donated their time to put up the last AED. And we all know where that is, right? At the bathhouse. Bathrooms. Okay. And I'll talk to Nellie later about sending a note of thanks. I think that it's important that when people donate to us with their time or whatever, that we just text off a thank you from the park department.
Absolutely, and normally we do. As long as we have the information to send it off to someone, we will.
Yeah, because we want to keep calling on them.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. Sports updates. Anybody have any new
Just
information
one-
since last meeting?
Just one quick bit, Scott, about Ted Williams. If I,
Yep.
I got two questions. Well, one question and one update. On the parking lot by the, as you come into the off of Precinct Street, there's a big pile of tailings. When are they
Yep.
going to be spreading that? Is that the plan to spread it there in that parking lot?
When they have time, they have spread some already, and they've spread some in both of those two parking lots. They've also spread some over near the horseshoe pits,
Mhm.
and a little bit over near the skate park. So when they have time, they are coming in and finding new low spots and building up the various lots.
Is there any plan to actually pave that down the road, that parking lot there and by the tennis courts, just because of the Loon Pond Lodge events? I didn't know. I thought maybe we had quotes in the past. I don't know if paving that parking lot. You know,
To my recollection, there were no quotes to pave that. I know Selectman LaCamera expressed interest in that, but that was before COVID hit. So I'm sure that's not on the front line right at the moment. But yeah, it would be a good thing to have that paved because it is the other parking for the function hall, that and the big parking lot next to it.
Scott?
Yes,
this is
Paula, go ahead.
Would it be cheaper to put in some bluestone?
Put in some what?
Bluestone, something like that? Would it be cheaper to do that?
Well,
trying to
we have a
save money
pile
here.
of road grindings that they're using right now at no cost.
Oh,
Can't get any cheaper
okay.
than that.
Oh, no, you can't. And I just didn't know if it was, that's what we plan on putting in that space. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, say that again.
We're planning on using that gravel or whatever to put in that space over by the pickleball club, that particular parking lot. Is that what you're talking about?
It's not deemed any one parking lot. They're taking it, and as they see low spots and they have time to work on it, it's kind of a filler for them. You know, Franklin's has the guys come over, and I think they were there one day last week for half a day, and they were driving around and they were moving stuff around and flattening them out and filling in low spots. You know, the ideal thing is to show up when it's raining and see where the low spots are. But they have, in that big parking lot closest to the baseball field, they have spread quite a bit, and it's made much improvement. The last time I was through there in the rain, there were no 4-inch deep puddles that we had. So it's kind of a work in process, and they're moving it as they have time and as they see the need.
Okay.
Were you looking for? Do you have? Is there some piled up down there at John Pond too, Joe?
no, they spread that already. And
They
nice
spread
job
that
of
one
that.
already. Okay,
Nice
good,
job.
good. Do they need any more down there, or?
I'll let them take a look at it. Let them think it what they think.
Okay, great.
We'll never say no. You know.
No, wait for a good gully washer, and Joel will be saying, "Pick me."
Exactly.
Okay. Anybody else have anything for Ted Williams Camp? No. We may revisit that if Mike can make it to the meeting. So we'll move on to the sports updates. I'm not sure if anybody's got any updates. Not too much sports going on that wasn't going on last week.
I have an up. I'm sorry.
No,
Well,
go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Joe.
Go ahead, Joe.
I just have an update. Last week or a week before, I forget, last week or so, I got a hold of a company to take a look at the tennis/pickleball courts. The company, they resurface, they do cracks and things like that. They came down, took a look at it. I showed them all 3 courts. They gave us a quote with 5 different options, filling in the cracks in one court, and all 3 courts, doing all sorts of stuff. So
Good.
I'll share that with people down the road a little later. But I just want to say we have different quotes for different things over there. I know the crack issue has come up by the folks at pickleball and everybody else. So once again, there's different options to do different things. To just fill cracks, just to paint, and Bob Hall was even over there. He stopped by when we were over there with these guys from this company. He was talking to them. I know they have some ideas about what they could try or what they might want to do. But I'll just let you know we have a quote. We can talk about it in the next couple of months. What we want to do.
It's just something that we would, before we could move forward on that, we'd need to get a couple of quotes anyhow.
Without doubt, yeah.
Okay, no, that's great. But I mean, the more variables to that quote, that's great, Joe, because, we may have to pick and choose and do a little bit at a time. And if they're willing to break it up like that, that's fantastic. That's great news. Great news. Good. It's funny because I had contacted Seal Master, who's like one of the big companies across the state. They have franchises and different things. They have a franchisee in Worcester. And they sell that stuff. They also have contractors that'll, come in and do it for you, buy their stuff and spread it. So I'll just, was that the company?
No, it was Westboro Tennis Surfacing.
Okay. So I may I may reach out to that gentleman tomorrow and maybe we can get another quote. So if you want to share that with me, we can kind of get the same type of quotes for the same type of work. That would be great.
Nellie, you have that, correct? If you want to.
Oh, I can send that over. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Great. Nellie, did you have something you wanted to add?
I do. I have a couple of things to review for sports. So women's soccer is going to be starting up in September 13th.
Okay.
They have all of their stuff in. Their question was this. They were in touch with the Freetown Lakeville Soccer Club, who is still, they're not doing anything this year, correct?
Correct.
Okay. They were speaking with them because they are instituting a fee for using their nets. The women's club has declined use of their nets. They'll be bringing in their own temporary ones to use just for them. And they wanted to double check if it was okay. They're going to line the field since Freetown Lakeville is not going to be their lining.
Yep.
They're going to line before they start playing.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure that was hunky-dory because usually it's Freetown Lakeville, but they're not playing this year, so.
Correct.
Okay, great.
So
they were also the
we-
first group to use our mail slot in our Ted Williams Camp office.
Great. We need to see their schedule and vote on their schedule so everybody knows when and where they're playing. I think it's important that all the members of the board know everyone's schedules, and then you can bring them all together. But it's not just going to be, are they going to play? Aren't they going to play? I think it's up to this board to allow them to play.
Do we want to review that right now? I have it because they only play on Sundays.
Yep. Let's do it right now.
It's Sundays, every Sunday, from 4 to 6 p.m. starting September 13th through November 15th.
So 2
You said
months.
4 to 6 p.m.?
Yeah.
There's no lights over there, though, right?
Correct.
Is it going to be kind of dark in November?
Correct.
After 5?
Correct.
Okay.
They don't usually use the lights.
No,
But
there are no lights.
At 5 p.m., is it not dark in November? Or they
what-
quit November 1st?
They end November 15th.
The last
They
couple.
gone that late in the year in the past?
I do
Yep.
believe so.
Yep. They have.
Okay.
What you may see is they may play earlier. They may play 3 to 5 those last 2 weeks.
And you know what? They noted just in case of Triple E that they would slate their times a bit earlier.
Yep.
To adhere to that as well.
Right, because they would have to be off the field and in their cars before dusk.
Exactly. But this team's pretty easy because it's just a weekly Sunday play from September through November.
Okay, well, this is what I think it's not just give the information to you. I think the information has to come to the board. The board has to know what the schedule is and who's playing and what's going on, and then they can vote on allowing it or not allowing it. So that being said, do I entertain a motion to allow the women to play on Sundays 4 to 6 or 3 to 5, whatever it may be?
Yeah, this is Paula, and I make a motion that they be allowed to play soccer 3 to 5 or 4 to 6 on Sunday.
Okay, Nellie, they know that the fee is $20 a head?
Yes, and they've already paid for the season.
Okay, great. Do I have a second motion?
And
Second that motion.
Any further discussion, Joe?
Yeah, I just have a question about the nets. They have to bring their own in. The soccer, other folks won't let them use their nets?
I guess not.
They'll allow them, but there's a fee attached to it, they're saying, and most likely due to maintenance of the nets. That Freetown Lakeville Soccer has now stated that if you use their nets, they're asking for a fee. I believe it was like $200. I'll have to check my email. So at that point, the women's group felt it was not cost effective and that they could bring their own.
Is that something we want to allow? I mean, you know, I
Why
guess
not?
I'm talking about other sports too. If you know, someone says, you know, someone does something over there with volleyball, doesn't that they're going to start charging a fee to use the net? I mean, do we really, is that something we want to allow, I guess? Or can we change it?
I don't see a problem with it. Why is it a problem if they're bringing their own nets? Paul?
Joe, do you have anything more to add? I mean, I understand. I know where you're coming from. It's no one has ever been charged to use them in the past. But I think that what's happening is they feel that everybody is using their nets. They've got people that are out there training people for money, and they're using their nets. They have the high school team coming down and practicing using their nets. They have the women's league playing using their nets. You know, you're right. I think finally it would fall on us to say either no, you can't charge, or yes, you can. I didn't know that they were going to charge the women to play. I thought that he was talking more about these other groups that are out there training and stuff during the day.
Oh, it looks like we lost Joe.
Explain something. Why is it our responsibility for the nets? The teams are bringing their own net, right?
It's not our responsibility, Paula.
Okay. So,
Freetown Lakeville Soccer
I
has bought and paid for those nets.
Lakeville Soccer, but they're not using those nets.
No, but
So the other team is bringing their own nets. Is that
no.
correct?
Freetown Lakeville Soccer has instituted a new rule that to use their nets, you have to pay a fee.
Right. And
So-
the other team says they will bring their own, correct?
Well, that's what she just said, that they didn't want to pay
Right.
the fee, so they were going to bring their own nets.
Right. What would be the problem if they brought their own? I'm missing something here.
Oh, there isn't.
Sounded to me
That's not the
like
issue, Paula.
Joe was questioning the new precedent of letting organizations charge to use their stuff.
That's what Joe is questioning. He's not questioning the fact of them bringing their own nets. He's questioning the fact, are we going to allow other groups to charge other groups to use their equipment?
Oh,
This
Okay.
is the first year that they're asking for a fee, Paula. They have not asked it in the past.
I see. Is that not between the two teams? Since that's what I'm confused about. Is that not between the two teams and not us? I mean,
It
we don't-
is, but their nets are on our fields.
Yeah. So,
Well, so we can
We're
tell,
not
we tell
charging
Lakeville to
any-
get them off the fields if they're not going to play.
okay.
No one has ever charged anyone else to use any equipment down there. And now Freetown Lakeville is feeling that it's costing them money in maintenance
Yeah.
and nets for other people to use the nets.
Right.
Because there are,
And-
there are a lot of other people using the nets.
Right. And Joe feels we're setting a precedence if we allow them to bring in their own nets.
No, he is questioning them charging a fee.
Okay.
Joe apologizes, but he lost Zoom. He's trying to get back in.
Oh, no.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, and
Uh,
just to correct, they're charging $500 for the year to use the net.
500?
500, according to women's soccer. That was the fee that they were told.
To use 4
Oh.
nets for 8 weeks. Wow. Well,
Sounds to me
I
like
don't
their
even-
nets are about time to be replaced, and they're trying to get help.
All right, guys, I'm back.
Hey!
yeah.
Joe's back.
Yeah. So our only input is whether we're allowing somebody to charge for the nets on our property. Is that correct?
I mean,
Pretty much.
there was no motion or anything like that. It was just a question.
No, but right.
Yeah.
So that's the issue is if we allow this to happen on our property, we're setting a precedence. And yet the real issue is between the two teams. It's kind of a
I mean, we motioned and
convoluted.
seconded the motion on the schedule for soccer and
Correct.
the discussion aspect of it. But I maybe we need to vote.
Yeah, I think this discussion has got off the track of whether or not we're going to allow women's soccer to play on Sundays. That was
Yes.
motioned and second, and the discussion should revolve around that. So is there any further discussion on whether or not to allow women to play soccer? Jesse,
No.
Paula,
No.
Joe,
We might have lost him again.
okay. I'd like to have his input.
Yeah, we lost him again.
Okay. And we don't have him from Clear Pond Park updates. All right, so we're gonna table that.
Yes, I did. Hello. I do have a Clear Pond update for Jesse and
Okay,
for you.
hold on, Paula.
Okay.
Hold on a second. We're gonna hold on that vote until we can get Joe back, and when we do,
Okay.
we will vote right away when Joe is back,
Mhm.
barring any other further discussion from Joe. Okay, so we're gonna move on to Clear Pond Park updates. Jesse, do you have anything?
Paula today went and opened the gate for the trash company. I was unable to get out of work today. And what were you sent me a message today, Paula, about your key didn't work.
Yeah. Well, the key worked for the gate. They came in and they emptied the dumpster. I went to the office to that green lock and used the green key, but I couldn't get it open. I was going to bring the equipment back. I was going to get it out and bring it back, but my key didn't work. So I just wanted you to know it's still in there, whatever the safety equipment was that was used. At one point I did, when I was there, not this time, but previously, the lock was not locked. And so I don't know if there's anything missing or anything like that, but I locked it when I left. And today my key didn't fit that lock. So There must be another key. You probably have it.
Only one key for the green
The
lock.
green key too, so I don't have that one.
Is it a different lock, Paula?
Oh, no, it's a green. Well, it's a smaller lock. It's a small green lock,
Or
and
is
not
it a
like
new
the
green
gate
lock? Is it a
Yes.
new green lock?
Yes.
Then your key fits it.
I guess I didn't do a good job trying to get it open then. I couldn't get the lock to unlock, so
We have
I
three
just wanted
size.
Jesse to.
We have three
Mhm.
size locks. There's a small, a medium, and a large, but they're all green and they're all new, and they're all opened by the same key.
Okay. It must be my fault. I couldn't get it open for some reason. So I just wanted Jesse to know that whatever was in there is still there.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll arrange to. I'll give my key a try, see if it works.
What are we doing in there? What are we getting?
There was some.
See-
On my Zoom, I gotta try going to the tablet.
There was some equipment in there for treatments. What was it? Some first aid equipment. I just noticed that, and I don't know what else was in there, but that's something I noticed at the time that probably should be taken out for the winter. And I was going to pick it up today, but I couldn't get it unlocked, so I just wanted Jesse to know it's still there.
Okay, we've never taken anything out of there before in the wintertime, so I'm not following what the.
Well, if it's fine, if you're happy with it there, then we don't need to do anything about it. I was concerned that first aid equipment might be going bad, sitting in there in the winter. But if you always leave it there, then that's not a problem.
Is Joe back?
Scott, can you hear me?
Hey,
Joe, we can hear you.
I can see a little bit. Somehow I can't get Zoom on my computer. So I'm back.
Okay. Oh, Mr. Nolan's here. Hi, Mike. All right, Joe. We were talking about. We got off track there on the discussion about
Yep.
women's soccer. I just wanted to hold to make sure you had any comments you wanted to make strictly about women's soccer and allowing them to play on Sundays.
I don't have a problem with them playing. I just had that comment about the nets. The fee,
Right,
that's all.
and we'll have to
Yeah.
take that up separate from that.
Yep.
So the motion has been to allow the women to play as usual on
Yep.
Sunday afternoons. 4 to 6, 3 to 5, whatever time they realize, and that they realize that they're going to have to line the fields themselves, and it sounds like they're going to bring in their own nets.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll take a vote, and I'll start with Paula. A yes
Aye.
vote is to allow them to play, and a no vote is not to allow them to play.
Aye.
Yes vote for Paula. Jesse?
I
Yes vote for Jesse. Joe?
Yes.
Yes vote for Joe. Mike? Would
Yes,
you like to vote?
yes, please. I was listening. Yes,
Yes, okay, and yes for myself. It's a unanimous thing. Now that you have the schedule, Nellie, if you can add that to the group of schedules we have,
yes.
and let them know that they are okay and good to go as long as they have all the COVID
Yep.
stuff, and they have the things they're supposed to have with them at the field, and there's lists that they're supposed to keep.
Yep, they have all the COVID stuff. They have all the regulations, all the jazz.
Okay, great. Great. Okay, we're gonna,
Scott,
Yes.
sorry to join late. I'm sorry.
well, it's okay.
Let's get back. I heard your conversation. I'll call Derek from soccer and see, that doesn't seem reasonable.
No, it doesn't.
Charging $500, and I'll call him, okay? We'll
He
work it out.
he mentioned something to me, but I thought he was referring to these other groups that are charging kids to train and
It
using
was.
their facilities, and that's what I thought he was talking about. And I said, they're your nets. I don't see you, asking them to give you a donation to use them, especially if they're charging these kids to play, to train. I didn't know that their plan was to charge the women $500.
Okay.
Number one, that's way over the top. And number two, you're talking about the moms of all your soccer players.
Exactly.
Anyhow, okay, so you'll reach out to him. I just wanted to back up a little bit now that Mike's here. We did go over the Ted Williams camp updates. I briefed everybody on the line painting, and we made a motion to go forward with that.
Good.
Yep. And somehow we'll find the funding. And then I said that the fertilizer did come in last week. I didn't know if you wanted to add anything to that. I know Joe was looking for possibly, didn't they add in the quote to do John Pond, or no, they never did?
No, they have never talked to Joe about that.
Okay.
He was going to meet him down there. But they did drop the fertilizer on Monday, I believe.
Yeah.
And they ended up with extra. So there's 16 bags extra of the straight fertilizer and 4 bags extra of the herbicide fertilizer.
Okay.
Joe, if we can talk about if you want to drop some of that on the softball fields. We also talked about using it when we reseed the new fields, the new multi-purpose fields. So there's like 16 bags of fertilizer there. So
Okay, whatever you guys think.
Yeah, no, I mean, we'll figure it out.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Let's go to John Pond Park. Joe, you got anything for us down there?
Oh, wait,
Bye.
Chairman Holmes, I have another sports thing.
Oh,
Sorry.
a little late to the party, but go ahead.
There was commotion. I received communication later today from the president of the AJFC.
Yep.
And they apparently got approval with the Board of Health last night to have a modified touch flag football and cheer program in the fall, consistent with all COVID guidelines. And he wanted to discuss field availability and the cost at Ted Williams. But the name of the president, Josh Procaccini?
Procaccini? Josh Procaccini.
Okay, it wasn't the usual person we have communication with, so I didn't know if this was somebody new or...
Probably a new president.
Okay. Now, Paula is listed to take on football, so I guess I'll give her the information to give him a call.
Okay.
But it looks like they're looking to come for the fall.
Okay. How does the board feel about that? We'll start with Jesse.
Board of Health seems okay with it. I'm okay with it.
Paula?
Fine with me.
Joe?
No!
We lost Joe again. All right, we'll go to Mike.
what exactly again are they looking to do?
They're having a modified touch/flag football and cheer program for the fall. And that's all the information he gave. He didn't detail what the program is.
And this is AJF?
Yep.
Okay, and why are they using our fields and not their own fields down in Freetown? I'm just wondering.
Thank you.
I don't know. And I was actually going to clarify with him, being that he just stated he met with the Board of Health last night, whether that was Freetown or Lakeville.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we should probably know that.
Yeah, because I'm not sure which one, or if he's done both already.
Okay.
And I have a question. What field exactly is football using?
They use field 1, field 2, the outfield of field 1, outside the fence of field 2, outside the fence of field 3, and the outfield of field 6 for the cheer program.
Okay,
But only
so
for
that's like,
practice.
That's only for
Yeah.
practice.
right. And
That's
it's
only for
only,
practice. They have their own field that they made in Freetown.
okay.
So I'm
And,
at a loss as to why they want to come here when they have their own field.
and so am I, but, okay.
And if they're not, I mean, traditionally, they've been only here for practice. Are they looking to play, set up fields and play games here?
I'll have to find out when I talk to them, right?
Okay, yeah, if you could find out that information, find out what they want to, what their plans are and what they would like to do, and then the board can discuss it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give, Nellie probably has the phone number, and I'll contact him and see what he wants done, and I'll talk to everybody
Okay,
and go from there.
okay, great. Nellie, you got anything else?
With sports, that is it.
Okay, so we've done Clear Pond, John Pond Park.
Yeah.
Joe?
So I've had some Zoom issues, guys. Sorry about that.
You're back.
Real quick. Yes. Real quick, the Mass Drifters have extended their contract until mid-November. So we've got more fees coming, and we got all the documents coming for that one there. Also, Free Lake Softball just gave me the paperwork today and a check. They're going to play starting the second week of September right till November on Saturdays and Sundays and 2 nights of practice. So I got a check from them, their paperwork. That's coming. So that's a good thing. We got some more people using the fields.
Yep.
And,
Yep.
Go ahead.
Does anybody have anything they want to add to that? Jesse?
No, I have nothing.
Paula?
When are they fertilizing the fields? Is this going to interfere with your fertilizing the fields? That's my question.
No.
Okay.
No. Mike, do you have anything you want to add or question?
Yeah, are they going to be using the bathrooms, Joe?
Yeah, I was just going to get to that, Mike. Good question. I'm going to try and get that up and running this weekend, by Monday or Tuesday. They said they will clean them daily, the Free Lake softball people, when they use them. So they committed to that. I'm going to try to get it going. I'm going to get some more hose this weekend and then try to get it running. It should be easy enough because it's already been primed from when you did it before. So I'm hoping everything goes smoothly when I try to turn it on this weekend.
Okay, and they should be approved okay by the Board of Health since each and every one of them is a single.
Yeah, sorry about that. I had Ed Cullen down there about 2 weeks ago. I showed him the unit. And he had no problem with it. To your point being because it's a single unit, and he gave us the green light on that one.
Great.
Good. As we have, we did last week with the Samurais, and we just did with the women's softball. I'd like the board to okay the use of the fields for Freetown Lakeville softball on those particular dates that Joe has mentioned. If he can get the schedule to Nellie so that she can combine and make one big master schedule. I'd like to entertain a motion to allow them to play.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Paula.
This is Paula. Are they paying an extra fee to use the fields for the fall? Is that my understanding?
Not an extra fee, their normal fee.
Yeah, they haven't played yet this year, so this is their season.
Okay.
They didn't play in the spring. It's
Okay.
Zoom fall.
All right. So do we keep the same fee that you charged last year, or do we go up?
No.
How does that?
Paula, last year
Yeah.
our fees were $15 a head. We voted to increase them this year to 20. We voted to increase all the fees by a third. So their fee will
Okay.
now be $20 a head for this year,
Okay.
Yeah.
and they know that.
Understood.
Like I said, I've got a check for that already.
Yep. So I'd like to
Okay.
entertain a motion to allow them to play.
Make that motion that they go ahead and be allowed to play for their fall season.
Second?
Any further discussion? Jesse?
Nope.
Joe?
Nope.
Mike?
Nope.
Paula?
Nope.
Okay, a yes vote will allow them to play, and a no vote would not allow them to play. I'll start with Jesse. Your vote?
Aye.
Yes for Jesse. Joe?
Yes.
Yes for Joe. Paula?
Yes.
Yes for Paula. Mike?
Yes.
Yes for Mike, and yes for Scott. Unanimous. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Okay. Any other old business to review? I know Paula has been bringing around some potential vendors for the snack stands. It's still something that this board has to decide they want to commit to. Putting the snack stands out to bid. I'll let Paula go ahead and tell you what she's done so far.
Okay. I have shown the snack bar to a prospective client that would consider taking the snack stand
Which one, Paula?
at Clear Pond Park.
Clear Pond, thank you.
And also considering the other two, I did bring them around to show the other two snack bars, not inside, but we're just beginning to look at this and see what interest there is and what kind of a plan and contract and money that we may make from the snack bars, whether it's one or all three. I do have contact with another person who is very interested in this also. And I haven't shown the snack bar, but certainly an interest in with both of these people at this time. And there'll be more. I will contact others because I want to see if it would be to our benefit to make the money for us. And we could always donate money to the sports teams, but definitely it's an area of revenue that we should consider and also not be concerned with ordering food and staffing it and et cetera, et cetera. And anyways, it's in the planning stages, and hopefully through the winter, we will come up with some vendors who will show an interest that they put on paper, and we can bring it back to the commissioners and they can look at all this and say yay or nay. And but I think it's a strong possibility that we may benefit from having vendors take the snack bars over. And I know that you all talked about the sports teams that get money from it. I think that the money should go in our budget. That's my personal. And I think that we can also support the sports teams by donating some if we can get some money through the vendors if they run it. But again, that's to be seen. All right. You can, tell me what your thoughts are, or just wait until we get these proposals together and talk about it through the winter. Thoughts?
I believe it's something that before we get too far along in this development, and possibly could be wasting people's time as far as it's one place or two or three. I think this board needs to talk about whether or not they want to take it away from softball or from baseball, or do we want to,
just try one?
Well, I'm just, there's a lot of things that have to happen. They're going to have to query check everybody that works in there. We're going to have to query check everybody because they are so close to the kids. So if they're at Clear Pond, whoever works there has to be query checked.
Do we do that now with all our people that we hire for the summer?
Our
Do we
employees get query
check
checked when they get hired.
them? Okay. Hmm.
I think for Clear Pond alone, it would save about $5,000 a year in staffing if a vendor is going to be staffing it themselves. And we probably only profit a couple grand a year from vending as it running it ourselves. So I think we'd save a lot of money if it worked out. Got a good offer to have someone else run that for us and pay us a little bit off the top of what they're making. I think that's something definitely worth looking into. As far as the other parks, I personally wouldn't want to take it away from who's already doing it. But Clear Pond, I personally, right off the bat, I'm thinking we'd benefit, but it's worth looking into for sure.
Yeah. Well, if somebody's making money off those snack bars, and it should be us. And I don't want to take money away from the sporting teams, but if there's a balance, if somebody came up with a good proposal for that, there's no reason why we couldn't donate money to these teams to help them out. They played all summer without the snack bar open, and it didn't stop anything that I know of in terms of keeping them from playing because the snack bar wasn't open. I know it benefits them, but I just think that we're losing a lot of money. The other thing is the Clear Pond thing. Everything is already in the snack bar for any vendor to come in and use. It looked, when I saw it, very clean, and they had all kinds of equipment in there. So
Right, that's all our stuff.
yeah,
That's
so
all stuff
would
we
have
bought
to
and
rent-
paid for.
Right. So we would have to rent all that equipment out along with the snack bar. But the importance of this, right, is to not have to manage it, and you put $2,000 in for food and get a bill for $4,500. This is crazy. It doesn't make sense to me. But again, you people have worked with this longer than I have, so it's something to throw out and think about.
Well,
And
seeing how we're having this discussion, I was going to do it next month, but seeing how this is already rolling along, Mike, do you have any comments on that?
Well, one thing I would like to point out that at any contract like that that we want to set up with a vendor, Paula, will have to be actually done by the Board of Selectmen. We don't have the power. I'm sorry?
I understand. Yeah, I knew that we wouldn't have a total control over it, but
okay. And secondly, I would like to say that the reason you don't see snack bars going at John Pond Park and at Ted Williams is because the folks that did it have deemed it's not worth it. There's not enough games going on at the same time for them to make money for their leagues. So they.
Oh, I thought it was. Yeah, Mike, I thought it was closed because of the Board of Health and the COVID for the season.
Yes.
No?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm talking about before the season.
Okay, in the past.
And yeah, and I'm not trying to rain on your parade here, Paula. I'm just trying to point out a couple things that the reason why they haven't been doing it is because it's not profitable. So if you think you could find someone to bring in and run a snack bar at Ted Williams Camp or John Pond and it would be profitable, then that's great. But especially right now, obviously with the COVID and everything, we can't do anything.
Right.
But it's a good time to talk about things.
There's maybe a more possibility of just some vending machines, just like a Gatorade machine or a machine to get chips or something like that. I would think if there's a an area there that would be more feasible.
Jesse, I would point out that we did that several years ago. We put in vending machines at Ted Williams. Matter of fact, if you look at the snack bar, you'll see the whole side of it has like a, it's a protected area that we had vending machines in, and it didn't work out so well. They got vandalized pretty well. I don't know, Scott, do we make any money on that? Or was it a question of paying for vending machines?
Do we
Not
make any money?
I just want to give you some background of what has happened in the past.
Yeah. I mean, per the books, it appears we didn't do so well last year at Clear Pond. I don't know about the other two, but obviously this year has been a bust for anybody as far as a snack stand. So, hopefully COVID will be gone. Hopefully. I don't know. Joe, do you have any comments?
Yeah, just a few. Like I said, the John Pond Snack Bar is usually run by the Freetown Lakeville softball people for their games. That's money they make. That's it funds some of their stuff. They do everything. We just give them the building. Reason we haven't done this year, obviously, is due to COVID and they haven't been playing games. Maybe in the fall, if they can have the tournaments, they'll get it going. But usually that's a fundraiser. That's money for them. We don't get involved in that, and it works out pretty well. Ted Williams, I think the same thing for the baseball teams. I don't know if we want to step on anybody's toes there. I think that might be a huge leap, and we might have a heck of a fight on our hands on that one. Clear Pond, once again, maybe it's an option, but just be careful. Once you put a business in there, prices automatically go up. And that is not a park that we want to gouge people. It's a nice park to come, get cool and all that. So we just have to be careful that they don't run it too much like a business, but only concentrating on making money. And we lose the hominess or the Lakeville feeling to Clear Pond. That's all.
Right. It's always been, and even when I was involved in baseball, I mean, it wasn't a huge moneymaker. It was more for the convenience of the players and the teams and the coaches and the parents who were running from work straight to the ball field, didn't have time to get something to eat and maybe could grab a hot dog and a soda or, it's never been a huge moneymaker. Yeah, it might have made a little bit of money and, enough to maybe buy a couple of teams' uniforms or something. But it's not huge. And I agree with you. Your comments on Clear Pond are spot on. It's been a convenience where we make some money, not that we're making a killing. That's kind of always the way it's been. So it's just something to look at and discuss. We have time. We don't have to make any decisions today. We can put it on the agenda maybe for a couple of meetings from now when Paula has more information and we can discuss it again a little further. Everybody good with that?
Yes,
Paula?
absolutely.
Okay, sounds great. Sounds great. Any other old business to review? I guess it's not old business, but it is old business. The haunted house, I think that was after the last meeting. Was it after the last meeting? If not, just tell me and I'll shut up. But the haunted house, somebody got in there. The police chief went over and told her she had to leave. She said she was part of the haunted house committee. The doors were open. She said they were open when they got there. I don't know. They're all 2x4 shut and the front door is locked. There is one door that has a deadbolt key. And if she was part of the committee, she may have had that key. I don't know. We might want to find a better way to secure that door to keep anybody from getting in there. That was on Friday. When I went down on Saturday morning and met a police officer there, he did a building check. Every one of the doors were open except the one that we padlocked shut. So somebody had been in this from Friday to Saturday and opened up all the doors. And somebody had got in there and was doing some spray painting, broke a couple things, not too bad, but they were doing some tagging in amongst the building. The police took pictures and did print up some cans, spray cans, just to see if anybody's in the system, but chances are they're not. Before I left, I put all the 2x4s back in, shut the deadbolt door, and left the police officer to lock it up. He did. I went back on Sunday. Everything was still locked up. Chief Perkins told us that he would be sending the guys to go by there at least once a shift or so when they can, just to make sure no one's in and around there. I did post some no trespassing signs. I picked some up at Home Depot and put up, I don't know what I put up, 3 or 4 no trespassing signs on the building. I don't know what that'll get us, but did it anyhow. That being said, that's about all I have for old business or old stuff. Nellie, do you have anything for us? Nellie?
Yes, just a couple of things. I'm gonna have bills ready to sign over the weekend. 3 people can go by and sign them. That'd be great.
Did you get my reimbursement?
Yes, it is there. Okay. So that'll be a part of it as well.
Yep. Joe, do you have some reimbursement?
No.
Okay. Mike, you should have some, right? You got some stuff. You picked up some stuff, didn't you?
No, I just went to Windberg's.
Okay. All right. Okay, go ahead, Nellie. I'm sorry.
I didn't get a chance to set up the phone that you had purchased. I'm going to do that tomorrow when I'm in the office, and I'll let you know if anything's not right.
Okay. It's a good phone. I have the same one. It's a good phone.
Oh, perfect. Well, ideally, right now the main unit will be in the office until SEM comes back to the lodge. And then we'll move it because they're the ones who really going to need to go through the voicemails constantly more than I am.
Yes.
So we'll move it back to the lodge, and I'll just have a handset over at the office, and that's fine. I think that's about it. I know SEM set up the new hand sanitizer.
Yep.
Stand-up stations for the event on Sunday. I did have a question. For those, are those a COVID expense?
Yes.
Yes.
So I should put that aside?
Yes.
Yes.
And the sanitizer. I ran that by town hall before we bought them.
Okay, great. So I know what to do with that. Okay.
Yep.
I think that was it.
Natalie, what about, maybe I missed it, what about that nature trust? Did you guys already go over that?
Oh, thank you. Yes, I'm sorry. That had come through. I did send that to everybody, and I posted it online for anybody who's joining the meeting and watching along. Paula, I didn't know if that had anything to do with the garden club at all.
No, I don't think so. I think they're more involved with conservation.
Okay.
And I'm wondering if I may be, my thoughts may be running away with me, but I'm wondering if after they do this great survey, if they decide that some species is being endangered, will they stop people from taking their canoe or using the water or anything like that? Do we know that?
Paula, anything's possible. They're going to share this information with National Heritage.
Will that prevent people from accessing Loon Pond if this happens, if we allow all this surveying to go on? Or?
I don't know.
I read the email, and to me, it looks like with what they want to do, they don't even need to ask for permission, I would think. They just launch a canoe in and take some pictures of some flowers, I think it was. Waterborne flowers, I don't know. And for an hour or two, that's all they want to do. Canoe for an hour or two and take pictures. Do they need permission? I don't think so. And they said if we want information from the results of their survey, I said, yeah, sure, send us the information. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, Jesse, I read it the same way. They were just asking if they could put a canoe in. Everybody can put a canoe in there or a kayak. So there's not much we can tell them they can't do there. And I agreed. If they find anything they want to share, that would be great. I think, Paula, you know, that's several steps down the road. I don't know what's going to happen, but you know, national heritage is not. It's not something that's worked out real well for the Parks Department before. Last time we heard those two words, it cost us $40,000 in a big chunk of land. So I don't know. Who owns Loon Pond? Does anybody know who owns it?
I thought the state owns the ponds.
I don't know.
I don't either.
I don't know. I thought I read somewhere that the state
So,
has
town,
control over all the ponds, but my thinking was that, you know, if I'm not adverse to them taking samples and seeing if there's endangered species. I'm just thinking ahead, where is this going? And will it be a problem for us later on? I'm not that we can stop it, but I'm hoping they don't come up with something that says that we can't allow people to use the pond because they're endangering species. But, you know, there's nothing wrong with them testing, right?
Well, I don't know,
Yes.
Scott. Scott, can we tell them no, you can't? Is that
I
even
don't
an
think we
option?
can. I don't think we can. How can we tell them no and then let someone else put a canoe in to go fishing?
All right.
You know,
Well, one's for recreation and the other is for surveying and conservation. Would the town fathers have input, the selectmen? Would they have any a say in this?
I don't know.
What exactly is?
When they mention conservation, my antenna goes up. That's all.
What exactly is this organization that wants to do it?
New England Wildflower Society.
And they're from Connecticut?
Nonprofit conservation organization that works to monitor and protect sensitive native species throughout New England. They will be sharing this information with National Heritage.
Okay. And did I see that they were based out of Connecticut? Something that references CT or something.
It says they want to share the information with Connecticut's Natural Heritage Database to update their records of the plant populations. And it's about the New England boneset is the name of this plant, the plant that they want to do a botanical survey of.
It looks like the group is out of Framingham, Mass.
Okay.
I would suggest we could go on this for many hours. I think we need to speak to someone in the town, because when I hear, I think Paula mentioned it, the thing that they want to monitor and protect sensitive native plants. That means if we get a native plant there, they're going to want to protect that area. And I think we got to find out what our liability is. If there's something, this reminds me of a turtle. Someone wants to build a house or a building, there's a turtle on the ground, you can't do anything. Could we be looking at the same thing here? Just something to take a look at.
Will they stop all recreation into Loon Pond because we're endangering a species? And I mean, as much as we want to protect them, we get another issue. I'm just wondering out loud.
Yeah. I'd suggest we talk to someone in town, see what they think. Let's see what the ramifications could be if they do find something they want to protect.
Okay, I will forward the email to Maureen and Leah, as Leah is our
Mhm.
liaison, and see if they feel that's something they need to be involved in. I'll take care of that tomorrow. Okay. Any other items from the clerk or any other business for the commission?
I have a question. Have we heard anything about the RFP for the management contract?
The what?
Management contract RFP?
Event management?
Yes.
They're just putting all the notes together now and working on it. This actually, I believe Tracy sent me over their draft today. I haven't had a chance to look at it. And they also had a draft for the cleaning company. But I just got home, so I didn't have a chance to look at it.
Yeah.
I'll share it with everybody.
Okay. Anything else?
Just a quick one. What about that guy that was asking the guy Jason about the haunted house? Did somebody respond to him, or that we put on the back burner?
I did respond to him.
Who is he?
And,
Who is he, please?
What?
Who is Jason, by the way? I'm kind of behind here.
His name is Jason Soares. Maybe Mike can give us a little more information about him.
Okay.
Hey, back when we were trying to get a hold of the folks that ran the haunted house in the past, a couple of those people that had worked there came to a meeting to talk about possibly reopening it. And also, this fellow Jason Soares came. He's not one of the original haunted house people, but he does haunted houses. That's his business. He's a like a, I don't know what you'd call him. He advises people.
A vendor?
What?
A vendor type person?
Well, yeah, he advises people on how how to make it work. He came to a couple of our meetings and expressed that he would like to take it over as a for-profit endeavor. And he sent us a couple of different scenarios, which we really haven't done much with. It's kind of a moot point with between the COVID-19 and the threat of EEE. If there were somebody doing it last year, we would have had to close them down anyway because of EEE, and we couldn't have the place open after dusk. And it's a fairly good chance that would happen again. And he realizes that. So he's asking about 2021. So we have to have some discussions as a board on whether we want to go in that direction. Whereas it's for all the 30 years or so, it's always been a nonprofit. Do we want to allow someone to come in as a for-profit and pay us a fee? But it's a totally different angle coming in, So that's who he is. We haven't really got back to him much. We've been dealing with a lot of other things. The only part of the haunted house that's been important to me personally in the last year or so is to clean it up. I'm not really concerned right now on who's going to take it over. He has been in touch with both the building inspector and the fire chief, and they both told him that there would be many things that he would have to do before it would even be able to be considered. So I guess we could talk to him, have him come to a meeting again, but right now I'm concerned about finishing the cleanup.
Agreed.
Mike, in terms of the cleanup, I happened to notice that somebody on online was looking to pick up a lot of metal. And I was wondering if we would be interested in getting that building cleaned out of all the metal that's in there. I know that it's a mess around there. I was my first time in there the other day when Scott responded to the break-in, and I was just appalled. But inside and out, it's I don't know how to explain it. Haunted, right? So I didn't know if we were interested in getting rid of, to begin with, all that metal that's in there, and if it's something that we need to save or auction off or anything like that. And then just once we get rid of some of the stuff that we're not using and nobody's coming after, can we go on from there to, I don't know if we need to demolish it or what we need to do, but that's something we can talk about this winter. But is that something that we should think about if somebody's willing to take all that metal out of the building? There was a lot of stuff in there, and I can't begin to mention. I know Scott would know more, but is that something we'd be interested in?
Well, Paul, there's some other things that need to happen before that. You know,
It's not safe.
no, well, but it's other people's stuff. It's not our stuff. You know, and you know, we're currently waiting to hear back from legal as to how to deal with this.
Okay.
Also, I would like to point out that we've already had 3 loads of metal taken away, as well as 15 dumpster loads of wood. I know you've been back there, but you did not see it when it began. There was 70% more stuff there. We still have 30% to do, but there was the whole back there was all full of wood, props, metal. So we've already had a metal company come and take a bunch of it. And actually, since we've been in touch with Franklin, he has actually asked us to just make a pile of the metal, and he wants to take it because he through the dump, the recycling center, I guess he would rather take the metal there. So moving forward, we're going to let the highway department take the metal.
Okay.
But we're still, we just had a dumpster taken out of there last week, and we're going to continue to break it down in the back. Franklin is helping with one of his machines, and we have a volunteer as well. It just it slowed up quite a bit because of the COVID in March. But before that, we had taken, like I said, 15 dumpster loads of junk out of there. That was just the outside. We haven't started anything on the inside because there's a question about the legality of who it belongs to.
Okay. And those
All those
people
other
never
questions.
answered it.
All those other questions you got to, as far as demolishing it or whatever, we're going to have to wait till we get there, see what we have.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Just a question, so thanks for the
No, that's
information.
okay. I just want to bring you up to speed.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay. Anything else?
Yes, Chairman Holmes, can we now do those meeting minutes? Does everybody still have those since Commissioner Nolan's here?
Fine with me.
What date are we looking at, Nellie?
All right, hold on. It was January 6th, 2020 and January 27th, 2020.
Yeah, I had sent you some corrections on both of those, right, Nellie?
Yes, and I went ahead and updated them, and I posted them with the agenda for the past 2 meetings
Okay.
with the edits and everything to them.
Okay, who was at the January 6th meeting?
It was Scott Holmes, Mike Nolan, Jesse Methford.
Okay. Jesse, do you have any other updates or changes to those minutes?
No updates or changes for that one.
Okay, can we have a motion to accept the minutes of January 6th, 2020?
So motioned.
Second.
Any further discussion? None being heard. Jesse, how do you vote? To accept them or not?
I accept them.
Mike Nolan
Aye.
and Scott Holmes. January 6th, 2020 is accepted. The next one is January 27th.
Yes,
Is that correct, Nellie?
that is correct.
And that's myself, Mike Nolan, Joe Kasha, Justin Bradley.
Yes.
Okay. Mike, do you have any changes for those minutes?
Nope, just whatever I sent to Nellie.
Okay.
It was just,
Joe, do you have
Bill,
anything you
thanks.
want to add to that?
No, I sent mine to Nellie before. She corrected
Okay.
them.
All right, great. Can I entertain a motion to accept those minutes as
Make a motion to
so
accept.
changed?
Make a motion to accept the minutes of the January 27th meeting with the changes made.
second.
Any further discussion? None being heard. Joe, how do you vote?
Accept.
Mike, how do you vote?
Aye.
And Scott, I accept it also. Great. Thank you.
Done. Thank you.
All right. All right. All right. So before we look at a date for a new meeting, so we're good. Everything else? Nothing else for
I
tonight?
have a question. This is Paula again. And September 14, the class instruction for AED. We're getting some responses. I believe Nellie got a letter out to the coaches. And so we've got a few coming in. And I just wanted to say that at Loon Pond Lodge at 6:30 on the 14th, we should have some instruction on the AED. Hopefully we all show up. And that I think we'll have to have a sign-up sheet for name, address, and phone numbers
Yep.
because of a group gathering.
Yep.
And do we need a hand sanitizer there?
Should have it there.
There are 3 there.
There's 3 at the
Okay.
lodge, so.
We're
Okay.
gonna have to pay for cleaning afterwards too. Which is fine. We'll have to get
okay.
a cleaning company in there. Yeah.
Okay. Who does that? You have a company that is already with us?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
We can call Nikki and have her line it up for after. Is it just the one
Okay.
night?
Well, if we can get less than 20 people in there, it's one night. But if we wind up with more than that, and I don't think we will, then the plan was to go to the next night on the 15th. But Nellie hasn't just got the email out, so we haven't had a chance to have a big response yet, but hopefully people will respond before long so I can tell the fire department how many.
You're not going to be able
Okay.
to have it at the lodge
Why?
because they're setting up for the election.
Ooh.
On what day?
The election's on the 15th. They'll be setting up on the 14th.
What if we
Oh,
did it outside?
Yep.
Just do it outside.
how
With
about
set up a table out there. Easy.
how about the office? But
Go ahead
at
and use the
6:30,
office.
you're gonna.
What
At
is the
6:30,
election
you're
on
gonna-
15th?
The elections,
You just have one?
What are the elections on the 15th for?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It's November
Isn't any?
3rd, the next election.
wait a minute.
No, not. We had some primaries, but I thought the elections were in November.
Oh, you know what, Scott? This might have been when they didn't know the date of the primary, and
Yep.
we put in several dates
Yep.
just in case.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had state primary Tuesday the 15th.
Yeah.
So somebody must have told me that for me to put it in my calendar.
You know what? I think I had that somewhere too, Scott. I think they might have changed it or something, or
Okay,
I think
so
there were
scratch
two
that. We'll-
weeks that we didn't know which week they were going to choose.
Yep. No, that's good. I'm glad I can take that out. So we can have the,
Okay,
If 3 of us are going to be at this training, we need to post it as a meeting too.
correct?
we do?
Why?
Not per class.
That was just
Instruction.
attendees.
Still a quorum.
Is it
No,
if we're not
it's
discussing
not.
business?
No, we're not. We're giving a demonstration on how AED, where they are and how they're used. And the public is invited, meaning the coaches and the representatives, and of course, the
It can
commissioners.
be
should
debated. It's
know
safest to
also.
put it, but
Jesse,
Well,
I
will-
can confirm with the town clerk and town administrator to see if this qualifies.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think this is a meeting. We're not discussing any
No,
business.
Paula, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If we have a quorum, there's issues. So we have to check with town hall to make sure that it's okay. It doesn't
Oh.
matter if we're not having a meeting. If the 3 of us walk into a bar at the same night,
Uh-huh.
you're treading on thin water. That's all.
Holy,
We have to check
okay.
with town hall and make sure it's okay. That whether we do or we don't post a meeting, whether we even have a meeting or not, as long as it's posted. So we will check with them tomorrow.
Yep.
Millie can check with them.
It may be a moot point anyway, Scott, because I know I can't make it on a Tuesday.
That's a Monday, the 14th. That was
Oh, I
going to
thought
be
it
our
was the
next meeting,
15th.
but
Okay.
It's the 14th to start with, and if we have too many responses that they want to come, the fire department was willing to do a second night on the 15th.
yeah, I won't be there on the 15th, but that's okay.
Yeah, I won't be able to make it either night, but
Yeah.
Again, once again, why don't you just have it outside? People can, cruise on by whenever they want. It's only gonna take 10 minutes.
No,
Need to save a cleaning
because
fee.
you're talking about triple E that. If,
No,
if
we're not. There's
teams-
no triple E
if
there's no
team-
triple
if
E
teams-
requirement.
If teams can't play after 6 because of triple E, why would we be having this outside?
Excuse me,
late.
Paula,
What?
there's been no designation of not allowing people to play after 6 p.m.
Okay, I thought I just heard that.
no,
they
that was
couldn't.
women's soccer is preemptively knowing
Just
that they might have
preemptive.
to switch their time, but no official word has been provided.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh, and just to update, we've had 5 responses from people from teams who would like to go to that class thus far.
okay, good,
Oh, that's great.
good. We just got to get, again, we'll have to have a list when they walk in the door. They'll have to leave a name and
Sign in.
name and phone number. For all those that can make it on the 14th, which is a Monday night. That was going to be our next meeting, but that's my next question. Next meeting.
How about the 21st?
Fine with me.
21st, Monday at 6:30? Okay? Okay, entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting at 8:19?
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I second.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? None being heard? Mike Nolan, how do you vote to adjourn the meeting?
Adjourn, please.
Joe Kasha?
Please adjourn.
Paula Hull?
Adjourn.
Jesse Medford?
Adjourn.
So noted and voted. Meeting is now over at 8:20 p.m., September 3rd, 2020.